have it. Alright, guys. This is it. This is it. This is the big thing that I bought. You ready for this? The box is too big. There it is. I can read to you what it is. Sousai Shojo Teien. Ritsuka Saeki. There it is. Bacon, yes. This is the one that I'm pretty sure I showed you a link of it like maybe a week or two ago, and I was like, oh man, I saw that there's these kinds of models, that these things exist. I had no idea. Like, it's a cool anime girl model, but it's not like, you know, a skimpy robot girl thing, you know? And okay, so maybe a little bit of story time. This whole thing today has been story time. Should I move this camera up a bit? Maybe we can just kind of pull away a little bit so you can get more of this here. Just like that. We'll just put it to the side. So yeah, a little bit of story time. We go to did I know that they had this model? I'm actually not sure if I sort of looked into if they had this model. I just knew that I saw ZakuAurelius's review of this model, and I was like, this is cool. This is cool because it's yeah, it's a cute anime girl model, and as a fully grown man, adult, maybe I should feel somewhat embarrassed about purchasing this, but you know what? Hey, PG Kami, what's up? You got nugs? You got nugs in the oven? What's up? What's up? Enjoy your nugs, by the way. I wish I had some nuggets. But yeah, so we get to this store. It's a really cool store. Once again, that's Trinity Hobby right there. We're looking up and down the aisles. They've got Warhammer stuff. I love Warhammer stuff. But they don't really have anything that I want right now. Like, I'm kind of looking to get some of the new Eldar, so you know, let's just hold off on buying Warhammer stuff. Go to sort of like the main aisle, and they've got some non Gundam stuff, and it's like, okay, this stuff is cool. They've got oh, he just started getting Warhammer. He's getting more soon. Nice. I'll definitely come back at some point and get some of the new Eldar that are coming out. They had like a model of Midoriya Izuku. That's pretty cool, from My Hero Academy. They had some of this stuff from a series called Hexagear. Been kind of looking into that. That's really cool. They had like Raiden from the shmup, you know, like from Gradius 5 or whatever. And I'm like, sweet, that looks pretty neat. I'm not sure if I want to get that. Night Trap is looking at his own stuff. You know, he's getting into some inscribing, so he's looking at all that stuff. And I go to another aisle, and then they've got a whole bunch of this, you know, Mecha Musume stuff. They've got a whole bunch of stuff from this line. ATK girls, frame arm girls, blah blah blah. 30-minute frame girls, or whatever they're called, 30-minute sisters. They've got a bunch of that stuff, and I'm looking, and I'm like, this is a whole new world. You know, this is like a different whole thing. But I'm thinking about this. I'm like, oh, they've got her. That's really cool. Ritsuka Saeki. I'm like, cool. I mentioned I saw her review in ZakuAurelius's channel, and I was like, this is neat. It appeals to me because, again, it's a girly anime model, but I just like the fact that it's kind of a schoolgirl and not like a scantily clad cyborg woman or something. I'm not judging anyone that's into that, of course, but for me personally, this kind of thing kind of appealed to me more. But then I get to the Gundam aisle, and I'm like, Gundam, yeah, I feel like I really need to buy a Gundam, right? Because Bacon, I like them. Yeah, of course, I know you like them. And I'm not beyond getting one myself, and I kind of want to get into that a bit more later. But yeah, so I get to the Gundam aisle, and again, they've got a decent amount of stuff, mostly high grade, but a lot of interesting high grade stuff. They've got a couple of real grades. And that's kind of what I've been interested in. I kind of want to get some real grade stuff just because I feel like that's a good price point for me at this point, and it's also like a level of complexity that is a whole lot more involved than any of the Gunpla models that I've made in the past. In the past, I've made Gunpla models that were so old that they didn't even have the whole grading system. That's how old they were, right? And I don't really want to get a perfect grade or anything like that, master grade. But they didn't have, they had a decent amount, but not a lot of real grades. They had, and pardon me if I'm not pronouncing this right, they had the Shinanju, they've got Tall Geese. I was really thinking about the Tall Geese, but there wasn't really any kind of connection for me in terms of like, am I gonna get this? I don't know. The Tall Geese, he looks cool. Bacon was telling me why the Tall Geese is cool, but I don't know. I personally, I just wasn't really. Yeah, okay. PG Kami saying that the Tall Geese is good. Yeah, I was kind of gravitating towards that just a bit. Shinanju's trash. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me, because I was definitely considering it. Yeah, but nothing really kind of grabbed me, and there was a couple of real grades that kind of grabbed me. I was tempted to just get a straight up basic ass Zaku, just because. Oh, okay. Bacon got the Tall Geese as well. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll definitely watch you build that. I'll enjoy vicariously through you the Tall Geese. Or maybe if you like it, maybe I'll get it too. But yeah, the goof and all this stuff, it looked pretty cool, but I could feel it. Like, my heart wasn't really into it, you know? This is so funny, but I was just like, yeah, I feel like if I get a Gundam, if I get some Gunpla, I almost feel like I'm getting it out of some weird sense of, like, not obligation, but I'm just like, I'll get it because that's what people do. Like, if you're building models, you're gonna buy a Gunpla, you're gonna buy Gundam. But my heart wasn't in it. And so I went back to the other aisle. Shadow of the Trinity. Hello, what is up? Shadow of the Trinity, how's it going? So where was my heart? Where was my heart? I kept on going back to this aisle filled with these type of models. Bacon, anime waifu, better than Gundam. PG Kami, Dark, what kind of edgelord name is that? Got to stay true to your heart. Shadow of the Trinity. Wait a minute. Glad you had a good time in the waifu aisle. Are you from Trinity Hobby? But anyways, I was like, am I gonna get this? I don't know. And they had a bunch of other ones too. And actually, they had like the Chinese brand. It's called like ATK Girls, and those were actually far more affordable in some respects than this model here, even though they were like hugely. Hey, thanks for the follow, Shadow of Eternity. I appreciate it. How's it going? Thanks for the follow. Yeah, so I was like, the people that work there, they must have thought I was crazy, because I just kept on going back and forth through the aisles, looking at them, looking at stuff, and then looking at this. And I was like, knowing my personality, if I ended up buying something else, if I ended up buying a real grade, if I ended up buying Tall Geese, if I ended up buying a Goof or whatever, Shinanju, I would be like in the car going home and just thinking about Saeki here, Ritsuka Saeki. I would have been just kind of like, damn it, I really should have just pulled the trigger and bought her. So knowing my own personality, I was like, you know what, it's pricey. I went from buying a fairly inexpensive, what is this, a $29 kit. This was the first model I bought kind of coming back into the hobby. This is like $29 or something. I went from that to this, which was considerably more. And I was like, dude, let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. Saeki Ritsuka. Let's go, you know? And the Shadow of the Eternity, that's me. Kami summoned me. Oh, okay, cool. Nice to meet you. Yeah, the lady at the store here, she was like, oh yeah, I really want this model too. The person who cashed me out. And I felt like cool. I found a maybe I had a good pick then if someone at the store liked it too. Waifus get pricey, yeah. Koto's pricey in general, yeah. I feel like I come mostly from Warhammer, so and 40k, so I kind of felt like this is like not super unreasonable if so long as the quality is good, right? Bacon, now you'll have to get accessories for her, get her some friends to hang with. Yeah, that'll come in time. What I'm actually thinking about getting, let's just put it back this way. What I'm thinking about getting is I'll have to maybe import it from Japan, but I was thinking about getting the arcade cabinets. You know, you can get like a model kit of the Vulix cabinet, you know, for Street Fighter V or a Candy Cab or a Astro Cab. I was thinking about getting one of those, because that would be pretty fun. However, I was looking into the scale, and this is... Where does it say? Where does it say the scale? It's 1/10 scale. This model is 1/10 scale, and the arcade cabinet models are 1/12 scale, so there's a discrepancy there. I don't know if it's going to be that noticeable. Maybe I'll look around on the internet and see if anyone has pictures. But yeah, pretty cool. That's pretty funny that PG Kami, PG Kami, are you from Ottawa? Or you don't have to say if you don't want to. But yeah, I was looking forward to coming down to that store, Trinity Hobby. Sorry, here's the little plug there for Trinity Hobby. I was looking forward to going there last week, but we kind of misjudged our timing. So finally, when we got there, we were really impressed. It was just a really nice place. Oh, okay, you're from Aurelia. Okay, yeah, I'm from a pretty small town too. So yeah. Hella far, yeah. We're actually kind of far, not hella far. Maybe like whatever's the intermediate between not far and hella far. Yeah, so the arcade cabinet I'm thinking about getting, but I might have to order that online from somewhere because I think it might be old. But yeah, and the friends. As for getting friends, we'll see. I might get like if they have models of a similar scale but are not as expensive, maybe I'll get those, but we'll see. Okay, so let's look at this box and then we'll open it up and then we'll see how we're doing for time and talk about and start painting, I guess. But I don't expect that I'll be painting much. So here we go. There's some face parts. Seems like there's 4 face parts, but as far as the review I watched go, the review I saw, as far as that goes, it seems like it comes with more faces that you can like add stickers on yourself or paint yourself. Skirt parts, accessories. Comes with a few accessories, but not a whole lot. They sell a bunch of other accessories, like a desk and a table and stuff. But I'm actually kind of thinking, maybe I can make my own accessories. I could buy some balsa wood and like make a chair. Like a basic chair shouldn't be that hard to make, right? Well, I don't know. But maybe I could try making my own accessories. If it's like a wooden desk, I feel like I could do that. So yeah, there's some more pictures. There's the stickers for ages 15 and up. Let's see. Product contains functional sharp edges or points. Exercise care when unpackaging and assembling. There's how much I paid. And again, that was a big jump for me in terms of buying stuff. But let's open this baby up. Not gonna really crack open the bags at the moment, but we'll just see what's in here. PG Kami Google says it's about a 5-hour drive for me, but it's probably longer. Sip some water, my friend. Seems like I need some. All right, let's see. Here we go. Here's some tea. I went to T&T and got some tea there. So okay, here's the first bag that I'm observing. Let's take a quick look at that. This appears to be the stocking, the legs. So, the legs come in 2 halves. Okay. I kind of thought that maybe the legs would just be one solid piece, But yeah, it comes in 2 halves. And there's some very, very fine detail parts here, like this ribbon. It's probably, again, it's probably hard to see. But yeah, there's a very small ribbon here, which I feel like is prone to breaking, so I'll be very careful with that. There is some body parts. This could be her badonkadonk. There's some various badonks that you need to combine to create badonkadonk. This looks like her belly, sort of like her waist, and her face, I think. So yeah, I've never built a model like this before, so this is going to be all new to me, and I might even practice with something else at first, just so that I can kind of do a good job. This looks to be the hair. And it seems like, yeah, so in the review I was watching, it seemed like there's a number of hairstyles for this model, so if you think about the other like frame arm girl models, they're gonna come with a lot of equipment and alternate gear and stuff like that. This model doesn't have all that, right? It's just a normal high school girl. So instead, they've kind of put the focus on giving you different options, like hairstyles and different faces, rather than having a bunch of different weapons. This appears to be the base. Pijikami water slide faces, I believe. Yeah, so Shadow of the Trinity, to the Trinity, has the information there. They come with pre-painted faces and a couple of blank faces that you can use water slide decals for. So yeah, this looks to be the base, and this is a very nice kind of sandy green color, which for Lego builders, this color is like very highly sought after. This sandy green color, there's like people that will pay like a high premium for this sandy green. But yeah, so there's I'm not even sure what that's for. Maybe the base. Let's see, more hair. More hair. Look at here. More hair again, look at that. These are like braids. And just a lot of options for the hair. It's pretty neat. This looks to be, hold on. Actually, I realized that it's probably hard to see what I'm talking about. Let's put this aside and get another drink of tea. This is barley tea from TNT. Bacon, it's the SSR in the Lego community. Yeah, so people will look for model kits that have the highest point piece per cost ratio for sand green, and we'll just buy that in bulk and part it out and make a ton of cash. Well, in theory, on the piece. Like there was like a Lego Hobbit set with the dragon, and that one apparently had a lot of sand green. This appears to be the skirt, like the inner lining of the skirt. And again, my apologies, I'm sure you guys won't be able to see it all that well, but there's this very fine like fringe all along the edge, and it's just really nicely detailed. So that's cool. This looks to be her phone. She looks like she has the latest version of the iPhone with the creepy 3 eyes on the other side of it. Pijikami. Do they like melt it down and remake the bricks? Or just only Legos from other sets? So yeah, what they do is they'll just resell it, right? They'll just resell the colors. It's like if you imagine buying like magic cards, and just some of the cards are more valuable than others in a booster pack. It's kind of like that for Lego. People will like just want that certain color of brick or certain shapes of bricks, and then there's like a secondary market website that you can go to sell all these bricks, because you know, in the world of Lego, there's a lot of people that make custom builds and make mechs, by the way. That's a whole thing where people make mecha out of Lego, and really amazing models too. And yeah, they want those colors. So what do we have here? This looks to be like her shoe, the soles of her shoe on the top in a dark brown. This looks like to be her, sort of like the joints. And here's the blank faces. And what do we have here? It looks like a smiling face, a winking face. This looks to be kind of like a neutral, or kind of like a creeped out, like ooh face. And maybe this is like a neutral face, or like sad. And here's the here's where all the action is. Here's her panties, I guess. Booty. The booty. The buttocks. PG Kami, I've seen a dude whose house is covered in Lego. He has like every set ever made. Yeah, I mean on YouTube, there's a couple of people like that. There's some power Lego people on YouTube that are just super into it, and yeah, it's really no surprise. I mean, it's a very popular hobby. It's been around since the 40s or something. The Lego as a company has been around for a very long time, but Lego itself was probably made around the 60s. PG Kami, it was crazy. I was like, how do you even live? They just live around the Lego. They probably built their beds out of Lego. So this looks like it's gonna be her shirt. And the shirt is actually built in 2 halves. So that's kind of interesting. And it looks like the seam line is cleverly disguised, like her shirt and the button-down shirt. So you won't really notice the seam all that much because it sort of aligns with her button-down shirt. So that's pretty cool. And that's the back of her shirt and the sleeves. And this, I'm not sure if we saw this color before, but it's kind of like a rosy, like a pale rosy white. So that's kind of nice. And that's a dark brown for her jacket, or no, for her backpack. Man, a lot of bags. Still got more bags, guys. PG Kami, it was like on the walls from the floor to the roof. Bacon, and that's the only hobby that they can have since it's crazy expensive. PG Kami, do I airbrush or paint? Yeah, so I do paint. But I don't airbrush. I've been wanting to get into airbrushing, but right now, for like my current living situation, I don't really have the space for it. But we'll see. Yeah, thus far I don't paint, and so for this model, I'm thinking I won't be painting it, just because it seems like there's a lot of pre-painted stuff already. So I don't know. I will have to see. I'll see what people say. What do you think, PG Kami or Night Trap or Bacon or Shadow? What do you guys think if I should paint it or something? Shadow, have you considered the portable airbrush setups with water base? So I don't even know what that is. If you could link me to that, I'd appreciate it. I know that there's like a Chinese company that sells a very small airbrush where the compressor is built inside of the airbrusher itself, the airbrush itself. However, it doesn't seem like it has as much fine control. I don't know. Again, I kind of have looked into airbrushes and smaller solutions, but I don't really know 100% what's out there and what's good. So this bag is really creepy. It's a flesh-colored runner with like a bunch of hands. It's kind of weird looking. I wonder if the plastic is different. This plastic seems like it might be a different quality plastic compared to the rest. And it's very fine. The fingers are very fine. But I'm noticing on the sprue itself that there's like flash where there normally isn't flash on the sprue. So I wonder if this is not ABS plastic, if this is a different plastic. And yeah, there's open hands. There's kind of like a reaching out hand. There's like a fist, some pointing fingers. I don't see like a peace sign. I kind of want like a anime girl peace sign. I'm not seeing that. PG Kami, the Amazon booth. Shadow, know what Ippo just mentioned. Some of them are weak, but some are passable if you just need 10 to 15 psi. It's different. Oh, the plastic is different. Okay, gotcha. Shadow and spraying water base means you don't need a strong or big booth. Oh, okay. if you have a link to something like that, I'll definitely check it out because yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, we're getting to the last few bags, guys. Red, big ribbon goes on her head, I assume. This stuff seems to be used for the base, maybe this as well. And yeah, nothing much to say about this bag. Let's move on to the next one. Here's a very small bag, and this looks like where does this go on the model? Let me see. Where does this go? Oh, is this for her backpack or something? Yeah, I think this is a strap, and it's made out of maybe vinyl or something. And it actually has a very fine texture to it that sort of imitates leather. And I think this is for her backpack. Very nice stuff. So many bags. 2 more bags, guys. 2 more bags. Here's the skirt. You get 3 skirts, and it's already pre-painted, the line here, which is pretty sweet. I have to say, that's pretty nice. And this looks to be her torso. So yeah, pretty cool. It seems like some of these skirts are kind of intended for like walking or kicking or something. And some are more like, this one has a bit of movement in it, so maybe if you want her to be like kind of dancing or something. And this one here is just straight down, so just having her stand up normally. Here we go, here we go. These are the painted faces. And again, there's quite a bit of glare, guys, so sorry if you can't really see that all that well. But the faces look really nice. There's kind of like a grumpy face, a winking face, just a happy one, and I don't know, this is maybe like a mischievous sort of face. Pretty nice. And there's something that I want to point out about this model, where I find with a number of these Mecha Musume girl models, these girl model kits, the sculpting and the paint job is good. However, they never look exactly like the box art, right? Like, you ever see action figures based off of anime, and the sculpting just doesn't really look like anime? Like, it doesn't look like the characters or the illustrations? It happens a lot, right? But that's something that really stood out to me with this model, especially watching some of the reviews, and shout out to ZakuAurelius. I was really struck by how well they managed to get the shapes and the art and the design and the printing and the painting of the faces, because it really, to me, and again, the full effect isn't really going to be sold here because she doesn't have her hair, but it looks very close. To me, it looks very close to the art in a way that I kind of felt like other models don't really get that far. Oh, there's another bag, guys, one that I didn't notice. This one here. Eyeballs. These are water slide decals if you want to have more expressions for your models, because there's a couple of extra faces, so that's pretty neat. Okay. So, that is all the bags for that model. It's quite a bit of bags. Let's get some more tea. Bacon, they're getting a lot better with the faces. Yeah, this is a fairly recent model, I think, so yeah, I suspect that that's also why. It's because it's a much more recent model. All right. Shadow, I heard the Hobby Mio Pro was all right. Okay, you got a link there? Okay, yeah, cool. I'll take a look at that link, and I'll definitely take a look at that. PG Kami, we can see. All right. Does this refill my compressor and charge by USB? Bacon. At least I've noticed that with figures. Shadow the Trinity. The frame girl faces aren't as good. The Megami devices are stellar. Okay. Interesting. I was thinking about also the ATK girls, the ATK models. I don't know how the faces are on those ones. Let me take a little break while I kind of make a few adjustments, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. AT girls are a step down. Okay. Yeah, I was very tempted to pick up a ATK girl, because, yeah, as you're saying, the value is in the amount of parts in the box for Chinese kits. Yeah, there was just a lot. It was just a really big box for a pretty good value, and was like, I like that. I like value. MS girls are even lower. Okay. Yeah, so Kotobukiya is kind of like the name of the game. They kind of caught Bandai with their pants down, sort of, with this whole girl model kit thing. It's pretty interesting how they've really found a niche there with that, and it seems to be pretty successful. Bacon, this is why I'm leaning towards Megami device for my next Musume kit. So, allow me to have another little story time. This is a second-hand story, or a third-hand story. I was watching an interview with ZakuAurelius and Link Sensei, Lincoln Wright, who's sort of like the sensei for Maschenkrieger model kits, and ZakuAurelius, of course, is a pretty popular model kit reviewer. Anyways, I was watching this interview with them. It's an old one, but they were saying how Link is working on a new book for model kit building, and ZakuAurelius was like, are you planning on having any Kotobukiya models in your new modeling book? And he was like, well, no, because I'm working with them on something else. And they kind of went on a tangent about these, girl model kits, Mecha Musume, or this isn't Mecha Musume, but like that whole subgenre. And Link had this story because he's someone that lives in Australia and kind of has a lot of connections with Japan. He spent a long time living in Japan, building models in Japan for magazines and stuff. And he was saying how he's been in business meetings and has spoken with the higher ups at Kotobukiya, and they talk about how successful this is, that they're very enthusiastic about the whole Mecha Musume thing. And again, this isn't necessarily Mecha Musume, but this whole genre. All of those Kotobukiya people are super excited about how well this is doing for them, and they're talking about the things that are coming out, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll always qualify that statement with, I'm personally not into it, though. Oh. Like, these are the guys that are running the business, and they're very proud of it, but at the same time, they always have to qualify. But it's not personally for me. It's not personally for me. I'm not into that. And that's something that I was kind of wrestling with in my mind, too. Kind of like on the way back home, I was like, man, I bought this model. Should I be embarrassed about this? I don't know. I don't think so. Because I think it's awesome. I think it's cool. And I don't know, it makes me happy. Just look at her smile. Embrace the degeneracy. Yeah, exactly. It's not even, again, I feel like this is a fairly modest model. Like, it doesn't seem as, in your face about being erotic or whatever, right? So I don't know. I'm fine with this. So let's just take a look at the manual, the instruction manual, and we can take a little longer break, and then I'll get to some painting, and then we can wrap things up. There's a bunch of degenerate waifu builders, yeah, but how many of them are actually putting it out there and building the models on Twitch? Because there was someone in Bacon's chat, and he was like, he's like, man, I check every day and trying to see if anyone's building Mecha Musume, and like there was only one in the past week or something. And I was like, oh, this guy's this guy's a man in a desert looking for water. He's thirsty. So here is Ritsuka Saeki. Look at her poses, so fun. Look at her facial expressions. More facial expressions. Very, there's quite a bit of variation, however, you only get 4 that are pre-painted, and the rest you have to sort of do yourself. So, for example, there's this one here where she's crying. That might be a kind of a good one to make with the extra parts. And it has a little note here about mixing, so you can mix parts with other models to create like your own custom waifu. So this hairstyle and possibly the face is from somewhere else, but you're using the Ritsuka's body, and again, same here. This is Ritsuka's face with another model's body. Accessories, you can get this suitcase, which is pretty cool. And again, yeah, there's a number of accessories that they had there at the store over at Trinity Hobby. Bijikami, that's what I mean, they're on Twitch. Shadow. I feel like for this line in general, a lot of people have issues with it being a schoolgirl. I remember in Zaku's comment section, there were people who never experienced these kind of kits calling him a pedo because of the panty sprue. PG, I see 2 online at the moment that I follow. Oh, wow, okay. 2 is like way more than I would have thought. Shadow. The left image is Koyomi head on Ritsuka's body. This one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly haven't really given it much thought. I mean, for me, I play games like Persona, which, you know, is about a bunch of high school kids, and we all get involved with the characters, and everyone talks about like who you're gonna date, who's gonna be your waifu, blah blah blah. And I actually never really give it much thought. Like it's just a game, and I don't even really care all that much about the whole aspect of it. I don't know. I just was like, let's get this. It just seems cool to me. So here's some general instructions about cutting. This is all stuff that I probably should study a little more. I've built models in the past. I'm kind of getting back into building models thanks to my friends who are enablers like Bacon and Nighttrav and all those guys. So I still feel like a beginner in a lot of ways, so I need to... This is a model where I kind of want to do as good a job as possible, so yeah, I'll have to kind of study this stuff and watch some videos just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. We've all been brainwashed, but it's really funny, Bacon, how Ricestream was like, get into Gunpla, and it was like, okay, we'll get into Gunpla, and it didn't take long to just veer to the right, to the left, and go straight off into a degeneracy. I mean, they're all in the same stores, right? So it's like it's not even that hard. Ritsuku Saeki, St. Iris Gakuen Girls High School Summer Clothes, Plastic Model Instruction Manual, Error Notice and Apology. Error Notice and Apology. So this is something I'll have to take note of. There is an error in the instruction manual of this model. Please refer to the diagram below for the correct instructions. Incorrect. Correct. Oh. It seems that the alignment of this intermediate face part goes on the higher pegs up here rather than the lower ones that they tell you. Okay. Point taken. Thank you for that. That happens in Lego too, by the way. Sometimes they have to issue like a correction. It's almost like a video game patch. They kind of need to patch instructions to properly build the model. It's kind of interesting. PG Kami, do I have sandpaper? Yep. I've got I've got a number of grits, but yeah, I feel like I'm pretty good on sandpaper. I think this is the highest grade that I have presently. Where is it? This is the highest grade that I have presently. I bought that just now, 5,000. I don't know if like I need to go higher than that. English instructions are available at a website. Okay, that's good. Good to know. Good to know. This looks like just like a general parts breakdown. So I kind of went over that already. Shadow of the Trinity, Shadow to the Trinity. You got off on the right step, yeah. yeah, a friend of ours was just like, to Bacon here, who's in the chat, was just like, yeah, man, I've gotten back into Gunpla. It's so good. It's just really great. You know, you should get back into it. And Bacon was the next guy. He was like, okay, yeah, I'm back in. And then, you know, it didn't take long. Just like 2 models in, straight to the degeneracy. PG Kami. You don't really even need to go that high unless you're trying to make it a gloss finish. Okay. Yeah, I mean, let's see. PG Kami, I'd start with 600 to 800, then work up to 1 to 3K. Yeah, I've got other grits. I've got 800 and possibly 600. So yeah. My thinking was I wasn't going to paint this model. I at least not at first. So I wanted to get like a nice finish for the model. That's why I wanted to get a higher grit. Maybe that was overkill, but yeah, maybe 5,000 was overkill. Maybe I should go a little lower. I don't know. Bacon, having English is good. The Ludens was all in Japanese. Oh yeah, but the rest is Japanese though. However, so I'll probably be building this and hoping that you're online while I build it, just because, yeah, you helped me out a lot with the other time I built. So let's just go through the pages now, real quick. Assembling the hair. You have a lot of different ways to make her braid, which is pretty wild. Again, this is in lieu of not having the guns, not having a variation of guns and armor. They were just like, give her more hair, which is pretty interesting. Building her torso, all the hands, lots and lots of hands. You know, over at Trinity, I did notice that they had some extra customizable parts, third-party parts, if you wanted to perhaps get more variations in the hands for your models. You can do that. I also saw that they had, if you wanted to get perhaps a different bust for your model, you could do that. I'm just saying, you know, if that's something you wanted to do, you could get bigger busts. And the other thing that really amused me, and I don't think I'll get for this model, because I don't think it would really work, but they sold, you guys might know, because I know Bacon is a man of culture. They sell the Virgin Killer sweater, and it's actually made out of like a cloth or whatever. It's made out of it's knitted, I guess, so it's actually felt. Let's see. PG, most painters go to 1K, straight builds 3K. Okay, yeah. For some of my Warhammer stuff, I've actually just went with 800. And then I prime my models, and because I hand prime my models, and I use my own weird technique for priming, which I talk about in a YouTube video. You guys can check out the YouTube video. I'm sure that the Nightbot has spammed that a bunch of times already, but yeah, I find that between all that 800 and the primer and painting, it ends up being a pretty smooth surface. This is an example of a model that I've primed. I've sanded down up to 800 and for some of the nubs and stuff, and painted, and it's pretty smooth. I'm pretty happy with that. Bacon, I tried using 10K and it ended up being more shiny than it originally was. Whoa, dude, that sounds actually kind of interesting. If you could take a picture of that and post it on your Instagram, I'd like to see that. Oh lord. Shadow, let's just say I've embraced degeneracy and helped people do that. Yeah, it's it's spreading the word. Bacon sounds like something I'd like to get. The virgin killer or the booba, the expanded booba. Putting the arms on. There's something here, and then there's a musical note at the end of this sentence. I wonder if I could use an app. I think there's like an app that you can use to translate stuff. Maybe I should use that. Making the panties, the legs. You know, maybe it's just because I've been so immersed in like anime and video games for so long that when it comes to things like showing off bloomers and panties in an anime or a game, it barely even registers to me. I'm just like, okay, that's just par for the course for anime. I never even, yeah, when people point it out, it kind of like snaps me back into reality, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that would be kind of weird, isn't it? The skirt seems pretty cool. Putting on the backpack, the head. I mean, this seems pretty straightforward. I'm not seeing anything that's gonna be mind-boggling that I can possibly mess up and screw up, but you never know. I want to do this, again, I want to do this as well as possible. Bacon, you can translate it? Oh, you want to translate this little song note part? Here. Here, right here. Can you read that? Can you read that? Or should I put it closer? Shadow, am I planning on painting the kit? I might have missed if you said that. Google Translate can translate via cam. The biggest obstacles are the tiny parts. Zoom in and enhance. Zoom in, enhance. I don't know if you can read that. Yeah, the tiny parts. I'm a little worried about the tiny parts. I was building this guy. He's not finished, like painted. I'm gonna paint this guy, and here's the part that goes around it. And I've already broken some parts on this because it's so thin. But Shadow, yeah, I'm currently not planning on painting this. Again, a lot of the parts for this model have paint on it already, or it's just they've gone the extra mile to have like different parts, different colors. So that's not really the plan at the moment, but I'm open to changing my mind. I'm leaving the option open for the future. Maybe if I get that airbrush that you mentioned, we'll see. Bacon, the following are for putting together the waist and legs. Okay. And there's a song note. I just find that amusing. The thing about painting the model is that the skin tone for the model seems fine already, and if anything, I'd like to do some very soft shading for the skin. But again, that seems like something that could be done best with an airbrush, or even using a makeup brush and using powder. I've seen that as well. I've seen people use like ground up pastels and just kind of using makeup to kind of like, as if you're almost really applying makeup to someone, apply that and get the shading that way. I've seen that, and the results are pretty nice. Subtle is the key. But something like the shoes, I could probably just hand paint, but as far as the skin goes, that's the thing that I'm kind of concerned about. And it's not something that I don't think I'd want to do with a brush, just because I'm not that good with a brush, and I feel like my brush strokes kind of come through sometimes. I'm working on it, I'm practicing it, but yeah, I don't know if I'm quite there yet. But if it's a matter of like something like this cell phone or like this cup here, if I need to paint something like the straw, I could do that. Rather than putting a weathering, yeah, PG Kami, it would be more like weathering pretty much. Bacon, maybe a flat matte top coat. Yeah, definitely thinking about that. I didn't buy that at the store today, but because this model I feel like is going to be kind of like, it's a little further back on my schedule right now. I'm working on my Eldars, these guys. I want to finish this model up this month, this guy, this mech, and I want to do a diorama for it. And then I bought this guy on my birthday, this guy here from Magic the Gathering. So I kind of have like a backlog already, and I want to kind of do things in order. Shadow pastels are good. YH pastels are good. The Tamiya Weathering H works for skin tones. Okay, let me take note of that so I can kind of keep that in mind for later. I also have, because I'm an artist and an illustrator, like professionally, that's my job, I have things like that already that I can kind of use for this purpose. So I'm planning on kind of experimenting with that. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Look at the hair. And does she have oh, look at the cup. It looks like there's bubbles, tapioca bubbles inside the cup. That's really cool. There's the girls all lined up. To be honest, I don't even know what, if I were to buy another one of these, which of these two would I get? I don't really know, because this is the one that really caught my eye, and the other ones aren't really super catching my eye. So maybe she won't have friends. Maybe when they release dudes, if they ever make just dudes, that would be really funny to buy. I don't know. Waiting for the husbandos. Forget the big boy waifu first. The bubble tea is from the table set. Oh, from the table set. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to buy that table set. And the short hair is a frame arm girl, Gorai, I think. And that's it. That's it for this model. Very cool. I'm guessing that Shadow would know. Is this an anime or some kind of game or something? Like, I have no idea. Again, I just bought it because I liked how it looks. I don't know if it belongs to any sort of IP or not. I just thought it was really neat. So I don't really know if it belongs to anything. But yeah. That is Sousai Shojo Teien. Sorry guys if my pronunciation's awful. Ritsuka Saeki. The illustration here is by something that I can't read because it's in Japanese, but that is this model. Very happy that I bought that. It was one of those leap of faith things. I'm not 100% sure if I was going to do it, but at this moment in time, I'm very happy and excited to get working on it. So let's take a break, guys. And when I get back, we'll do a bit of painting, and then yeah, a little short stream today. Just wanted to kind of summarize some of the stuff that I got, and then do a bit of painting. But yeah, let's take a break.